Why didn't you just get an Airbnb, Sarah? Why didn't you just stay the night in Arlington? Because I didn't think about it. Okay. I didn't think about the drive. I didn't think about the energy that it would take for me. I didn't know that I would be slow roasting in the sun on the first day without food, water, shelter, like nothing. I didn't know. I didn't think about it. Plus, I'm baroque. Okay, I am baroque. Um because I paid for the first day. So the first day I got tickets on that day, the day that tickets opened up. But the second day, these this was a resale ticket. And we all know how they jack up those prices for resale tickets. So I had already paid more than I wanted to just for tickets alone for this concert. I couldn't necessarily afford an Airbnb. And I also didn't really think about everything else that occurred on that first day too. But yeah, I was gonna have to get up at 5 a.m. in order to get to this venue where I could avoid long ass lines. So that's what I did. I got 30 minutes of sleep. And you remember how I mentioned not having sunscreen? And you remember me mentioning like I had a cutout in my shirt? Yeah, that left a gnarly tan, a very ugly tan at that. Because now I have a brown patch in the middle. I have a brown patch in the middle of my chest. And the shirt that I had planned to wear on day two, I could no longer wear because it revealed this part of my chest. And I didn't want to show up with a dumbass tan. So I had to pick another shirt, and I was upset about it because it wasn't the outfit that I wanted to wear. Either way, it was another black shirt that the collar kind of went up to here, sort of. Um, and it was short sleeve, and it was a thin material. And then underneath the the bodice area, it turned into like a sheer corset, and then it kind of cropped a little bit. I mean, it was a cute shirt. It wasn't what I wanted to wear. But it was just sheer corset type of look. And then I wore black jeans and then black boots. It was cute. It was all right. I mean, it was all black. But I knew I was going to be out in the sun again, but I wanted to wear black because I didn't want people to see my sweat. Because the thing with me is like people don't think that I sweat because I don't sweat on my face. My face is the last thing that will start sweating. My body, though, will sweat like back, chest, pits. I mean, it's just, ugh, sorry, but that's just how it is. Like, that is how it is. So I wanted to wear all black because I kind of wanted to conceal sweat. Anyway, I didn't wear the outfit that I wanted to originally wear, and it was very upsetting. I was also quite tired, only getting 30 minutes of sleep after a full day the previous day. Um, and again, I didn't have a lot of food that second day. I didn't have a lot of water. Um, on the morning of the second concert because I didn't want to have to pee and leave the line and risk losing my spot. So I drive back to the venue, and this time I decided not to take an Uber. I decided to park. I was like, surely parking will be fine. And I get to the stadium around close to 10, I would say. Parking, parking, parking. There was a parking lot right across the street from the stadium. $50. 50. I said, bitch, no, absolutely not. And there was a parking lot next to that parking lot. 40 bucks. No, not doing it. And I drove up and down the street, around and around, trying to find parking. Those were the only two parking lots that I found. Maybe there were others, but I was starting to get anxious. And I was like, you really just need to find a parking lot and get parked so you can get in line because every minute counts getting in that line. And so I was like, man, All right. You've already spent this much money. Go ahead, pay the $50. So I unhappily went to this parking lot, pulled out my card, and paid $50 for parking. I said, you know what? All right, this is what we're doing. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So I get parked. I go across the street. Same situation as first day. Lines already long, hella long, hella long. And I was unsure what line to go in because at this time I could see the front of the line. The front of the line had what line was what. But as the lines went on back and back and back, it started getting a little muddled. I again had to walk like 5 minutes just to get to the back of the line and get back there, stand in line. Don't ask what the line is for. I just stand in line like the fucking idiot that I am. Um, I get in line and there was a girl that came behind me and she asked what this line was for. And the girl said VIP pit, whatever pit section it was. Wrong line. I had been waiting in the wrong line again. Okay, great, great, great. So this girl just so happened to be in the same like not area as me, but she was VIP floor seats too. So she was asking around and I was following her. I was just following. I was like, I'm just gonna follow you because you're braver than me and you're asking around. And I'm all of a sudden too scared to speak up. So we find out where we're supposed to go, what line we're supposed to be in. And we walk and we walk and we walk and we get closer to the front of the line where the banners are, where it showed what line was for what. And we were kind of confused because we couldn't find the start of the VIP floor seats. And we're like, where does this line start? We find out that the line never started because there was no line. We didn't have to wait in line because there was no line. So we just go right to the front. We go right, and we passed hundreds of people who were there for VIP pit, hundreds, and we went straight to the front for VIP floor. Yes, first win of the day. I was so happy. I got my merch, and I was like, all right, all right, all right, all right. Like, yes, let's do it. And so we got our merch. We got all ready, and they said come back no later than 2:30. And I was like, all right, bet. And so I went and sat down. And this day, the second day, they had tents set up and they had a big water thing where you can get a cup and get some water. They also had fans sitting out there too underneath the tents. And it was a really cool setup. I've never seen it before. But they had like these buckets of water and then they put the fan on top of the water. And I guess somehow this contraption uh, sucks up the water and blows out a cold mist. And so I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's really nice. Too bad I can't stand in front of it because with this hair, my hair is naturally frizzy, it's naturally curly. It's big, it is just unruly. So the moment that I stand or that my hair is exposed to any type of moisture, it's over. Game over, man.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Game over. Um, so I couldn't partake in cooling off the way I wanted to. I just sat on one of the concrete benches in the shade, sweating. Until a very loud woman on a megaphone comes around, starts yelling at us who have already got their VIP merch. This is literally how she sounded. Do not loiter. Do not hang around. Go back to your hotels. Go back to your cars. Walk around. Do not hang around in groups. Come back at 3 p.m. You will get into the venue. And we were all like, we were just minding our own business. It's not like that's not like there was a huge crowd situation going of people that were just hanging around. There was maybe like 10, 15 of us just in the outdoor space, just near under the tent, chilling. Like that's what we were doing. She was telling us to go and get.
Go ahead and you go and get. Go on, get. Yeah.
And I was like, I should have stayed. I should have stayed. But I respect authority, I guess. And I was like, all right, my car is parked just across the street from the stadium. I'll just wait in my car. It was getting close to noon when I decided to go back to my car. And I just stayed in there in the car with my AC on, and then I waited. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait till 3 p.m. because if I know better, I know that I need to get there earlier. So I get there, I leave my car again, and I walk back. Tell me why there was already a long line. I said, I was so mad. I was so mad at this woman. I'm so mad at this woman because I could have been at the front of the line. I could have been right there if I had just stayed. If I just stayed. But this line was already long. And again, we were all in the heat. I wasn't like necessarily in the back of the line. But I was far back enough. And the thing is like that day I still didn't wear sunscreen. I mean, I brought an umbrella because I was like, umbrella's enough. I mean, I'll be fine. And I didn't wear sunscreen because I didn't want to smell like sunscreen. And you know, when you sweat and you wear sunscreen, sometimes you get like that thin white film on your skin. And I just didn't want to deal with that. So I did not wear sunscreen. So did not bring water. Just had an umbrella. So we waited out in line in the sun for a good, I don't know, I got there 2:30. They didn't start checking in people till because the sound check I think started at around 5. So yeah, we were outside for that long. Uh, I mean, and it was the same situation, if not worse, than the first day because at least on the first day we had a breeze. There was nothing. That second day, nothing. Not a gust, not a breeze, not a rustling of leaves on trees. Straight heat. Middle of the day. And we were like the stadium was here and then there was the sidewalk and the sidewalk was big enough for like cars to I say it's a sidewalk, but it's kind of like a mini driveway, I guess, like long driveway that you could drive through. And then there was the other side that had a sidewalk and we were in the sun, but next to the stadium was a sidewalk too that was completely shaded. Yet they had us waiting in the sun instead of in the shade. Makes sense, right? So I don't know if just one person complained or enough people complained. I have no idea or whose idea it was. But eventually they moved us out of the sun and next to the stadium wall on the outside in the shade. We were like, thank baby Jesus. But it was still hot. There was still no breeze. I mean, it was just hot. And the thing is that they ended up breaking our line into 2 lines. Those 2 lines were backed up. I have no idea how far back because at one point they wrapped around the stadium. Those lines were mad, mad long, both of them. And the looks on people's faces when they approached the line and they found out what the line was for, and they found out that that is where they needed to be, and they found out how far back they needed to go in order to get to the end of the line, they were they were shocked and appalled. And honestly, I would have been the same. We were waiting out in line and I was dying. I was dying in my semi sheer shirt, jeans and boots. I had no fan. I had no portable fan. I had nothing to really fan myself with. Um and your girl was just suffering with just an umbrella. And eventually the um they started checking people's bags in. And I was right behind two young women who were really cool. Like we had been talking pretty much the entire time that we were in line together, and they were just super super cool. And this was their first, like that day was their first Stray Kids concert. They had been to like other concerts, but this was their first Stray Kids concert. And they were really excited. And I was telling them about my first day, and they were asking me what it was like and stuff like that. We were just shooting the shit. Um, so the line like started to move and they started checking people in, checking their bags, going through the metal detectors, all that. We were elated. We were happy. And the thing is the line that we were in was moving a bit slow. I mean, we saw the other lines, like people were just going, 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 going. But our line, one every few minutes was going through. And the people in the second line that was right next to us, the people that were behind us in the second line were getting through before us. We were like, what's going on? I'm just confused. Like, so we finally get close enough to where we could see what the hell was going on. And what the hell was going on was that the person that was checking the bags was checking them a little uh too thoroughly. I shouldn't say too thoroughly, but like you want to make sure that nobody's bringing anything into the stadium that they shouldn't be bringing, no weapons, nothing dangerous. I get that totally for sure. The thing is that she wasn't doing it efficiently. She wasn't working quick enough. That's the thing. She was basically having everybody dump out their bags, dump out everything in their bags, and she was checking. If your bag wasn't clear, she was having you, I mean, she was checking it all, but she was just moving at a very sluggish pace. And that is what was causing the problem. And that is what led to a line full of disgruntled people, including. So we were just shocked at how slow this woman was going. And by this time, we had moved up enough to where we were no longer in the shade. We were in the straight sun again. And we were getting very impatient. We were getting very upset just because it was just ridiculous. Like, I mean, you had to be there. You had to be there. And this is how I know. What's coming up is how I know we weren't crazy and we weren't disgruntled for nothing. But maybe a few minutes after the line, like they started checking people in, the lines stop. I'm not going to say, maybe stall is not the right word, but I'm going to use stall. So every check-in point, the stalls, they all stopped checking people in. We were close enough to see inside, see why. And it was because the people that they had checked in were all kind of gathered inside, but right in front of the doors. And I'm guessing they were waiting in line for something. I don't know what the line was for, but they were all kind of jam-packed right inside in the entrance. And so I understand why they paused checking people in, because they needed to get those people out of the way, because it could have created an unsafe environment, potentially unsafe environment. And we just didn't want to keep jam packing people into this one small area where they were stuck in, essentially. So I'm going to say maybe it was a good 30, it felt like hours, but maybe it was like 30, 45 minutes more that we were outside. And again, people started dropping. And I was like, man, I was over it at this point. I was just upset. Like, we were literally all getting, I mean, you know how it is. You're out in the sun, you're hot, you're sweating, you're dehydrated, I mean, you can't expect everybody to be like, vibing, happy, smiling. Like, we were suffering. We were suffering out there. And so we were just like getting impatient. We wanted, like, what I wanted was them to get in there, staff or the staff that were already in there, and get this line or get the people that were inside into a more organized line, or get them shuffled off to where they needed to be, so that we can open up these stalls again and continue letting people through. So we just waited. And then eventually they started checking people in again. And here we go with this woman. She starts on her shit. And we were just like, I cannot believe this. And even then, they started a third line for floor seat, like VIP floor seats. They started a third line. People in the third line were getting through before we got through. And so, like I said, this is how I know that we weren't being dramatic about this. They eventually, because let me paint it like this. For every one person that the lady checked in and let through an hour line, every one person she let in, the stall next to her had already let in five. Five versus her one. So either enough people complained and staff heard it, or the staff saw how she was and they switched her out. They brought somebody else in. And the person that they switched her out with was pushing them through. And we were like, yes, this is what we need. Like, we need thorough checking, yes, but we need you to move quickly, because we're getting closer and closer to sound check, and we're having to be outside in this heat for an extended period. I mean, it was crazy how long we were outside, an extended period of time. We just need to get in. We need to go. So finally, I get inside the venue. And based off of, the previous day, day one, I luckily already knew where to go. I was not lost. Yay, go me. I knew where the stairs were, so I get down to the floor. This is where it gets interesting. Get down to the floor, get in my section, which is first row, right in front of the stage. Right in front of the stage. So I get in and I walk confidently, very, very proud of myself that I knew where I was going. That's what the confidence was. I confidently go to my section, first row, right in front of the stage. When I saw, and this was, I was laughing at myself because my friend was telling me, she was like, all right, you saying you're cool from day one, but day two, being that close to the stage, being in front of the stage, it's going to be totally different for you. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm golden. Nah, I was not good. I was not golden. I was shook. shook by how close to the stage I was. Yep. So there was more waiting for the sound stage to start. I think we waited maybe for an hour. Eventually, the sound stage started. And the guys came out, and I was like, this is not real. So they were on the main stage. They were on the main stage, was in the back. It was cool. I was fine. I was like, okay, they're fine in the back. Good distance away. We're safe. And then they started to walk down I'm gonna call it the runway, leading to the front stage. When they got to the front stage and I could see them and I knew that they could see me, and they not only saw my face, they saw my entire body from head to toe. First, I was really upset because I wasn't upset again because I wasn't wearing the outfit that I wanted to wear. This was like a last minute outfit, and I was like, God bless America. This is not what I wanted to wear. But they could see me from head to toe. And this is how close I was. Despite Pitt being right there in between us, when I was recording video during the concert, I didn't even have to zoom in that much. That's how close they were. When they were on that front stage, I didn't have to zoom in that much. And I was like, okay, yeah, my friend was right. And I was like,
I'm in danger.
like, it was that nervous energy that I had. And I wish I could have recorded the sound check or like taking pictures because Hyunjin was on his shit. Like he was feeling himself during that sound check. And I'm not saying that he was looking at me, but he just kept looking in my section in in his head turned towards my direction. Okay? I'm not saying that, but I saw him he kept looking in our direction, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Felix as well. He came to the front and he was walking back and forth too. And here's the thing. When I get excited about something or my mind is just kind of blown, I black out. Like there's a lot of things that I don't remember. Okay. So I know at one point Bang Chan was at the main stage in the back. And if he came to the front stage, I don't remember. I don't know. That's just how caught up I was. I have no idea who came to the front stage and who didn't. They did perform 3 or 4 songs to check. And the crowd, here's the thing, like the lights were turned up. It was still daylight outside. And thank goodness we were in a stadium where the roof was closed. They chose to close it cuz if I had to be out in that sun for one more moment, like if I was in a venue where there was no roof, I don't know. I would just be done. It would be over for me. But I thankfully the roof was closed, but still like I mean, I I just can't stress enough how close I was. And it was just so surreal. Like I wasn't screaming, I wasn't freaking out, really. But it felt very surreal to finally see them. I had only seen them on my TV screen or my phone or like my computer. That's it. And now I was seeing them in real life. And they look exactly the same. That's the crazy thing. They look exactly the same. And it just seeing them, I was like, man, this is crazy. Not only am I seeing them, but I'm seeing them like up close. And they could, if they looked in my direction, they would see me. They would see me. And I was just, man, it was just an experience. And the thing with the sound check was like, they started the songs and immediately everyone stood up and I stood up. But the thing was, is like, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I knew what was coming, but I didn't know what to do. And so I love to dance. I used to dance. I like doing contemporary dance and I like doing hip hop. And I was like, I know how to ride a beat. Like I know how to do it and I'm confident with it. It's just it's a completely different story when you are in the field of vision of your favorite group ever. It's just totally different. Like, not only that, but they can see you from head to toe. They can see you from head to toe, girl. It's just totally different. And so I'm not a shy person. Like, I'm not shy, but I just, my anxiety when that music started and everybody started singing and dancing, I was like standing there and I was moving my lower body and I was kind of moving my upper body. But baby, when I tell you awkward turtle, me, yes, because I did not know what to do with my hands. That was the thing. I didn't know what to do with my hands. So I was like, do I raise them up? Do I keep them down low? I think at one point I was hugging myself and I was like, and you remember how I said Hyunjin kept looking towards our section? Like there was no doubt about it. He kept looking towards our section. And Felix was doing the same thing. The other ones, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, memory is not serving me right now. Um, but I at least remember them because I kept looking at them because they were just acting out. Like they were just acting out. So I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands and I'm being mad awkward because this is my first concert and I honestly was not expecting this at Soundcheck. So I was like, at one point I was thinking in my head, I was like, Sarah, you are embarrassing yourself. Like being this awkward. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get it together. Like mentally slapping myself in my head. Snap out of it. And I eventually I eventually snap out of it, right? And I think it's by the second song that I'm forcing myself to be more comfortable, a little bit looser, and I start moving my hands in directions that make sense. Okay. So the sound check was over and it was great. I survived it. Um and then we waited for the concert to start. So I believe it started at around 7-ish. Um that was great. I mean, yeah, that was great. The sets, the props, the backup dancers. Shout out to them. Amazing. The band. So, first time I saw the band was in Lollapalooza. I actually was hoping when I saw them perform at Lollapalooza with Stray Kids, I was like, they have to bring them along. Like they're too good. They're too good to pass up. And when I found out that they were going to be going on tour with the guys, I was like, hell yes. I don't know whose decision that was. I don't know if it was the groups, like the boys, but either way, right decision. Yes. The band, they were hot shit. And I'm so glad that they took the time out to introduce each one of them, let them have their little solo parts, and also give them their own section in the concert. And I actually recorded their part because it's just like if you haven't seen them, go look at Lollapalooza. I think it was in Chicago that they performed at Lollapalooza last year. Look at them. Search them up. They are, and when I say hot shit, I mean hot shit. They are amazing. And but that's also me, like, I'm really into music, like I've said previously in previous videos, music is life for me, like, it is a lifeline. I live and breathe music, and I love instrumental shit, like, anything that has to do with any kind of instrument, I am here for it. And so one thing, side note, one thing with me is I like listening to classical music, but I also like listening just to anything instrumental. So my friend and I, like my friend took me to a symphony for the first time, or like to see the orchestra live because we have that here where I live. And it was really cool because we went to see The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie. As you can see back here, I have Jack Skellington on my doorknob, and I also have Oogie Boogie, little plush right in front of my TV. So I love that movie. And so back in, I think it was October of last year, we went to go see the Nightmare Before Christmas at the Symphony. And it was so cool because they played the movie on this big projector screen, and then the orchestra played the soundtrack of the movie live the entire time. It was it was amazing. It was if you have that where you live, go. And you like music, go. Because they did the Harry Potter movies here where they played Harry Potter and they did the music score for that movie. And then they also did it for Star Wars. So it's a thing. But it was great. So that's just how into music I am. So seeing this band, hearing the different instruments, I was just on cloud fucking nine the entire time. And so what's killing me here is, again, I don't remember half the concert. I recorded a lot, but I didn't want to record the entire time. I wanted to be in the moment. But unfortunately, the moments left my memory almost instantly. Like, I just don't remember a lot. I just don't remember the details of a lot during the concert. But what I can tell you, what was really, really funny was that the videos that I recorded, I went back and I looked at them. Now, I cannot confirm this. I'm not saying that this is what it was. What I am saying is that, were there a few recordings where particular members looked in my direction? Yes. Did this occur more than once where they seemingly, I'm not saying for sure, seemingly looked right at me? Yes. Were you okay after? No, 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 I wasn't. Now, let me take a sip of my tea here. I am gonna say this. I hate using the word bias. I really, really do. Because I really do. Like, I like all the members um a lot. Just as performers and as people. I think they're all very genuine. I think they're all so funny and they have great personalities. And I believe who they are when they're in front of the cameras or when they're in front of you is just exactly who they are when they're not in front of the cameras and when they're not in front of you. Um, so I like their authenticity. I think they are very authentic. As authentic as you can get as someone who pretty much lives in the spotlight. That being said, I don't really like to use the word bias. Now, is there a member of the group who stands out to me more than the others? Yes. Did they constantly have your attention during the concert? For sure. When you were recording and you look back at said recordings, did this person seemingly, again, not verifying, not saying as a fact, did they seemingly look in your direction more than once when they were at the front of the stage? Yes, Your Honor. All right, so when you saw that video, that footage, did you lose your mind? Slightly. Yes. Yes, I did. All right, well, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think that was pretty much it for day 2. There's not much else to discuss. I didn't get home until like 4:30 in the morning that next day. When I tell you, I think I slept for like 13 hours straight that day. I did. I didn't move a muscle. And at the end of it all, it was worth it. The sun, the heat, waiting, waiting, waiting. Most of the concert experience was waiting. But everything that I had experienced prior to sitting my ass in that seat on day 1, but especially day 2, was all worth it. The resale ticket, the $50 parking, waiting out in the sun, sweating my ass off. It was all worth it for the experience. And for both days to be sold out, which was like I heard a first for that stadium, like a concert like that. It was the first for both days to be sold out. And if you saw the crowd, like just sold out crowd of 30, nearly 40,000 people, it was so surreal. It was just so surreal. And I was so happy for them. Like, that's just all I can think of. When I turned around and I saw the sheer amount of people in that stadium, that's all I could think about was just how far they had come since they first started and where they're at now. And I was just so proud of them. I'm so happy with their success and that we all came together and that so many people were there, the common thread of enjoying their music and being there for them and their music. It was beautiful. It really was beautiful. It was enough to bring you to tears. And the like I said, the stage setup, the props, the backup dancers, the live band, the costumes, what they wore, their own choreography, the vocals. I mean, everything was just perfect. If something went wrong, if something was wrong, I didn't notice it. The only thing that I noticed was at one point the lights went out and Han just looked like, and when they came back on, Han was like, what happened? Just shocked Pikachu face. But other than that, there was just pretty much a flawless show. And I mean, it was just all amazing. And the crowd was amazing. They were loud. They delivered. I mean, it was just, yeah. So I will be going to the next um, tour. They have to be stopping in Texas. I mean, it's Texas, it's a huge state. Usually when they do, it's 2 days that um 2 days that they're here for. And yeah, I'll be going both days. Probably going pit. I normally would not do pit because I said I was too old for it. And I'm also very short. But I think I'll chance Pit. For me, I want to be as immersed in the concert experience as I can. So I think I would chance Pit. Like I said, especially if it was in the same venue, at least on one of those days. And then the other day, I would do floor seating again for sure. So that was my concert experience in Arlington. Both days. It was an unforgettable, beautiful experience. I do think that they learned because it's just hot. It is the dead of summer. It is the dead of summer. So I believe this happened in Washington. Whoever made the decision to cancel the concert or end it early did the right thing. They did the right thing because it was turning into a potentially dangerous situation. It was just too hot. It was too hot and it was too much of a chance to take to continue that concert with that heat and those crowds. So I think they did the right thing shutting it down early. And I'm sorry for the concert goers that didn't get the experience that they were expecting. But your safety, your life is way more important than a concert. And that's just that on that. There's no concert that is worth your health, your safety, your life. So I think they did the right thing. And also I've seen how they are setting up fans and stuff at, venues now that they're performing at. And also having the tent set up. I'm pretty sure they probably have areas inside where you can go in, cool off, water, what have you in the AC. That's good. And then, of course, Chan paying for people's waters. Of course, he would do that. So I'm glad that they were checking on the fans during the concert, making sure everybody was still okay. So it does seem like they're learning, and sometimes it takes learning the hard way in order to do things the right way in the future. So I'm glad that they are taking the necessary precautions and preventative measures to avoid what happened in Washington and what happened at the previous venues with this heat. I'm also hoping that they have enough personnel, medical personnel on scene as well to be able to see multiple patients at once. That was the only thing that I'm like, I'm not sure if they did that or not. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the boys' success and the fact that these concerts are selling out and the fact that they're still riding the wave like they deserve it. They deserve it. The last thing I want to say is that I hope that they're taking care of themselves, but I'm not going to get in I'm not going to get into that. I just really hope that they're taking care of themselves. I know they're not getting a lot of reprieve during these concerts, but I'm hoping that they are getting somewhat of a reprieve, hoping that they hydrate as well, that they are getting a little bit of rest, and I know that they're pushing through too. I cannot imagine. I can't imagine just being on a world tour, just going, going, going for months at a time. It's a lot. It's a lot. I know it is. And I know it's taxing emotionally and physically. I just can't imagine how much, but I can imagine that's what's going on. Um, Either way, I'm not going to make any more assumptions because I don't know them personally, but I just know how I would be. I think I'm going to wrap it up here on that note. Thank you so much for listening to me again. If you've made it this far, you are a trooper. I commend you because I don't know I don't know if I would be able to listen. But that's because it's me and I don't like listening to myself talk. I can tell you one thing. After I posted these videos, I have not watched any of them. I don't like looking at myself. I mean, I have to watch in order to edit them. But once I post them on YouTube, I ain't going back and looking at that. I'm not trying to look at myself. So I can only hope that I hope these videos are coming out all right. I've had a few people tell me that they look good, they sound good. So great. I'm ecstatic about that. That there are no technical difficulties that anybody has run into as far as I'm concerned. Also been told that I have a soothing voice. That's great for you guys. I love that some of you think my voice is soothing. I'll keep at it. Either way, thank you for listening to my first concert experience, my first K-pop concert experience, and the first experience that I've had with Stray Kids, their concert. It was just beautiful. It really was beautiful. And I'm just so thankful for that I had the opportunity to see them not once, but twice. If you ever have a chance to go, it doesn't matter where you are in the stadium, in the pit, way up top, just being there. Just being there, like the set list, what the songs that they chose to perform. Man, there were a few times where like I know Cinema, one of my favorite songs right now. Cinema, and then my favorite Stray Kids song, I would say one of my top 3 is Cover Me. When they perform that song, like I didn't cry, but I wanted to, and it was just so great to hear that live and see it. Just one of my favorite songs ever by them. It was great. It was just all around great. But either way, thank you for coming here today. Thank you for listening to me. Yada yada yada. And I really hope that y'all come back, all 5 of you, um, and you listen to me again. And we'll be doing music video reactions. We'll be doing interview reactions. We'll be doing some Skiz Code episodes. We'll be doing some Stray Kids talkers, some dance practice reactions. I mean, I got a lot lined up, and they're going to be a lot shorter videos than this. I think I just want to kind of do like maybe a session like we're in fucking counseling. I just kind of want to do a video a week where I just kind of talk about Stray Kids things like this. And if you'd like, please comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to know when I drop a video. No pressure. We are just here together for the love of the music, for the love of the boys. I don't need anything else other than that. But if you like what you heard, if you like what you saw, yes, please visit me again. Until then, be safe wherever you are. Have a good day. Have a good night. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.